How's it going, fellow reefers? As always, God bless you and thank you for being here. I'm Gage and this is Candy Coral Aquatics. If you're new to my channel, please think about subscribing and hitting that notification bell because this is where I talk about all things reefing, but more importantly, where I share the information I've gathered on my tank with you guys to help you become better hobbyists at the hobby we call reefing. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about temperature, and then we're also going to be going over some updates on the tank in regards to how my corals are doing, some new corals that I added, and then, I want to answer some questions about fragging that some of you guys have been posting. So when we're talking about temperature, guys, some of the things that I'm going to be discussing in today's video might be some of the things that you've been going through and you might not have been able to figure out what's causing it, and it really just might be the temperature. So since I added the new light to the tank, if you guys remember, I was just running one Hydra 26 HD. I'm now running two Hydra 26 HDs, and because of that, the temperature has kind of spiked in the tank. I know this because I monitor the temperature 24/7 with a Coral Life temperature probe. They're cheap, they're like 15 bucks, something like that, and it's just a probe that goes down inside the tank. You suction cup it to the glass and it gives you 24-hour around the clock temperature monitoring, so I can see during the day my temperature, at night, and everything in between. And what I have noticed since adding that new light to the tank, my temperature's gone up and it's actually been kind of hard to control. So what are some signs that your temperature is too high? Well, in regards to fish, I don't really know if there are any because I haven't seen any abnormalities in my fish whatsoever. But when it comes to coral will actually start to lose some of its color. While a lot of my coral is still looking really vibrant, I have noticed a couple pieces have a little bit duller appearance to them, and this can only be linked, in my opinion, to the temperature. So what's been going on with my temperature? Well, when the lights are off, it's usually anywhere between 77 and 78-ish degrees. However, when the lights are on, I've actually recorded as high as 81 degrees. So that being said, that's obviously way too warm, and I think that's why some of the coral lost a little bit of their coloration. So I'm trying to get that under control. The first thing that I did is I actually moved my Vortec MP10 up higher to the surface of the water. That's actually why, as this video is going, you're hearing a little bit of suctioning with the water, and it's kind of going brrr, and it's pulling water down into it like it just did right there. It's because it's pretty close to the water surface, and I've got it on blast right now, so it's really agitating the surface of the water. I usually run a lot of high flow in this tank to begin with, but obviously more surface agitation means more gas exchange, so there's nothing wrong with that. It gets a little annoying from time to time when I hear it suck in water, but if that's the biggest annoyance that I have with this and it works, then I'm okay with it. However, I think I am going to go and get a clip-on fan that I can actually clip to the side of the aquarium glass and blow a fan straight across the top of the surface of the water to kind of get rid of that heat that the LEDs are emitting onto the surface of the water, because that's actually what's raising the temperature. During the day, I actually put my thermostat on my actual heater on my tank all the way down to about 72 degrees, because the lights are producing so much heat that even when that's set to 72, I'm still at 79 degrees. And then when the lights go off for the night, depending on what the temperature is in the bedroom, if I have to run my window shaker AC unit because this tank is actually upstairs in one of my bedrooms, then I'll kind of adjust the tank temperature from there. But I do want to get that clip-on fan so I can blow this excess heat off the surface of the water before it has a chance to kind of heat up the water in the tank. And then by doing that, I'm hoping I can control the temperature and then also be able to leave my thermostat on my heater alone so I don't have to constantly turn it up and down and left and right. So in regards to temperature, guys, it is really important that you monitor and check your temperature, because temperature is huge, right? If things are too cold or too hot, they're obviously not going to grow and flourish like they're supposed to. And depending on what we have in the tank, it could actually even kill them. So just make sure that you're monitoring your temperature and then adjusting it as need be. And then, if you find that your temperature is too warm, you can try decreasing your lighting schedule, decreasing the light intensity, because corals will actually, undergo photosynthesis even at lower light levels. Or you could do what I'm going to do and put a fan on the top of the tank, or buy some type of fancy, chiller system. There's a lot of different ways to do it. But as for me, I'm going to go with the cheap route first, and I really don't want to run a chiller. And I know there's a lot of different aquarium fans out there, so I think I'm going to look into that before I do anything else. Now let's talk about coral. So my coral has been doing pretty good. I've actually adopted a new system for lighting, which is the Wwc Worldwide Coral Lighting Schedule. It's the same light intensities, controls as far as not intensity, but coloration and lighting schedule as far as hours are concerned as they use. So it's going to consist of a 12-hour photo period. The color spectrum is the same as what they're using on their hydras, and then the length throughout the day, it's a 12 hours. It's the same duration as they use. So in the morning, it ramps up, to like noon, 1 o'clock, where the sun would be at the highest point in the sky. And then as the day progresses, it ramps down, as the sun would be going down outside, and then it shifts off. So that's what I've been doing right now. It's still too early to tell any benefits, if there are any benefits yet. However, they assured me at WWC that, this method that they've been using with their hydras was actually, researched quite extensively, and they use it on a lot of their display tanks, and it is proven to grow and colorate coral. And, I'm inclined to believe them because they have some of the nicest coral, out there, and some of their show tanks that I've seen are absolutely stunning. Now, as far as the coral itself is concerned, and not just how we're lighting it now, the coral's doing pretty well. I've seen some really good growth in some of my zoas, and then some not so good growth in some others. So I've received some questions about when my zoas will be ready, as far as when will I actually start selling them. Well, I was hoping that I would start to sell these a lot faster, but unfortunately, some of the zoas are not growing as fast as I had anticipated. The sweet-tooth zoanthus being one of those. So I think right now, currently looking at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think I've got about 8 to 10 polyps of the sweet-tooth zoas. I'm actually not going to be fragging those until that's at least doubled. And unfortunately, I don't really have a timeline for you guys. As you know, some stuff grows fast, some stuff doesn't. I have more nirvanas that I know what to do with, but when it comes to a lot of the other stuff, they're just taking longer than expected. So let's go ahead and bring this camera a little bit closer, and I'll show you guys how some of the zoas are doing. I guess since we're right here, let's just do this first. So up top here's all my SPS stuff that I'm growing out, all my Acropora. And then in the back on the glass there, I actually just did this today. Let's readjust this a little bit. That is a meteor shower Cephastria, and then the other one, I don't know what it is. It's pink. It's a pink Cephastria. I'm not sure what the technical name is. So Cephastria actually do best in really, really low lighting is where they tend to do the best in and color up the most. So being on the back glass up as high as they are, they're probably receiving more light than what they need, but I'm going to keep an eye on them. If they color shift and they're not doing so well, I'll peel them off the glass and put them, down, in a corner of the tank somewhere where there's a lot less light. But my idea and plan for these is to have them encrust and grow into each other and then cover up the back glass. Now, if I find that they do well here, then I'm going to go out and buy a few more different colors and types of Cephastria and do the same thing with them and go ahead and glue them right to the back of the glass. Now, you guys can do this with a lot of different corals. Green star polyps are probably the most popular that I've seen, but you can also do it with zoanthids and anything else that will kind of encrust. So that is something to think about if you guys want to cover up that back area of the glass. So here's the rest of the corals, the SPSs that we're growing. Up front there, we have that red Planet Acropora. Next to the red planet, let me grab my sheet because I can't remember all the names here. We have a palette blue Acropora. That is that one right there. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. This has actually got some really cool coloration on it. Let's see if I can get this to focus here. There we go. So it's kind of looked like it was splattered with blue and green paint. Pretty neat. Right behind that is that green Slimer, which is doing pretty good. Behind the green Slimer, directly behind it, that is a Wwc Blueberry Acropora. It's like a tealish blue with darker blue polyps on it. It's not doing too bad. Directly to the left of it, I honestly don't know what that is, but it's some type of Acropora. It's bright blue at the base and with bright neon green polyps. Let's see here. Oh, this is new here on the corner. That is a Montipora. It's got a blue base with red polyps. I don't know if that's a Superman or a Spider-Man or whatever they call it, but that's what that is there. So super bright red polyps with the blue base. So as that grows out, I think that's going to be pretty sweet because I really like that Jedi Mind Trick Montipora that we have down there. That's still doing really well. And then there's the Gonioporas, the Blastos, the Mushroom, Forest Fire Digitata. So everything, is doing okay there. Down here is another couple of corals. Those are some, what are those? Cotton Candy Aussie Lords. And then this one here is closed up. I just got some of these corals today. today, and I coral dipped them. So this is actually a blue and green blasto, which looks pretty sweet. But it's a little PO'd right now because, like I said, I coral dipped it, so it hasn't fully opened yet. But if you look closely, you can actually see that neon green, you know, center. And then as this opens, it's actually like really deep blue, if I remember correctly, with that green. So that's going to be pretty sweet. And then as it starts to grow out, you know, here we've got the red and teal green ones, or mint green. And then down here we'll have blue ones. So that'll be pretty cool, I think. All right, so the zoas. All right, so here is that rock that I had growing out for forever. So there's the Nirvanas. There is, of course, you know, the I think they're Eye of Ra's. I've got a couple of Fruit Loops mixed in the back in there. And then down below, I still have all of the orange Bam Bams here. I didn't actually clean that side of the glass today. Let me see if I can actually turn this a little bit. There you go. There's the orange Bam Bams there. So those are still doing really well. Not the Sunny D's, the scrambled eggs are up underneath. They're not doing so hot, but that's actually just because they're being shaded out by the Nirvanas. So I really do need to get in there and frag some of those off and start regrowing those as well. Coming over here, here are the sweet tooth zoas, which everybody, well, I don't want to say everybody, I've had a handful of people or so ask when they'll be ready. So as you can see here, I don't have a lot of them. There's obviously more there than when I started, but they're just not exploding with growth like I had hoped that they were, or hoped that they would. Over here, there's the Fruit Loops that used to be over on that rock, but they were starting to get covered by the Nirvanas, so I moved the bigger colony over here, and I've gotten a lot more heads on that since they've moved, so those are actually growing really well. The Sunny D's, you can see how those exploded. I think I only had like 3 or 4 in the beginning, and you can see there's just a ton on there, and there's more coming in, and then I've still got the one up on the frag rack. And back behind the Fruit Loops, those are the Yoda zoas. I don't know what's going on with those. They don't want to grow at all. I can't figure out why. There's still only 3 polyps, and I have one little Aptasia right there that I got to get in there and nuke. That's why that 3rd polyp isn't open fully. But yeah, I don't know what's been going on with the Yodas. They're sweet looking, but they just don't want to grow. Above the Yodas, those are the LA Lakers, and then down here are the Rastas, which are still doing pretty good, but not quite as good as they used to be. So I do have a couple little issues going on with some of my zoas, which I do need to address and try to figure out, which I have been doing. And I think I'm on the path to getting it cleared up, and identifying, let me see if I can get this to focus, identifying what's been going on. But you can see the coloration and stuff is still there, and they look really great in person, but for me, they're not quite there yet. So I want to keep doing some more experimenting with those and seeing exactly how nice I can get all this stuff to look. So I'm going to be doing some new methods for dosing. Hopefully my camera will refocus. If it doesn't, sorry. So some new methods to dosing and stuff like that, which if it becomes successful and I see some results with it, then I'll share it with you guys. The jack-o'-lantern Leptocyrus, I think that's how you say it, is right there. And that's actually doing way better up here than I thought it would. It's actually starting to encrust on the rock. Let me see if I can get over here. It's super bright orange with yellow eyes. I mean, it's really bright orange. So that's doing well. Yeah, so I think everything coral wise is okay. It's pretty okay. I think once I figure out how to control this temperature issue I'm having, and then I actually start this new dosing process that I'm going to be doing, I think things are going to get better, but we'll see. So that's really all I got for you guys today. If you guys have any questions or comments, or you want to see anything else from me, just go ahead and leave it down in the comments section below. I think I mentioned it in another video, but I'm going to re-mention it. Any new questions or comments you guys have, if I've missed them, please re-enter them on the newest video uploaded. So if I missed any of your questions before, upload them to this video, because I still don't receive proper notifications through YouTube all the time, and I don't want to leave anybody out. So until next time, guys, take care, God bless, and remember, keep those nutrients really low and do your water changes. Take care, guys, and God bless.